Yeah.
So look it up.
Yeah.
And 2 days ago it came out costed.
Yeah.
And it's the only one that's costed by the government nonpartisan guide.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So on oil,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it's still that way. There's pipelines east of Manitoba.
Yeah.
And she wants pipelines to go from the tar sands
Yeah.
to the eastern Canada,
Yeah.
so that we don't use Saudi Arabian oil.
Yeah. Exactly.
And she hasn't explained it, but I think it's for security. Because
Yeah.
when the OPEC decides to produce too much
Yeah.
and the price goes down,
Yeah.
it temporarily really throws a wrench in the economy. So we can have a more stable economy and a more stable supply and not ship it.
Yeah.
And the United States has been reserving their oil, and now they're becoming self-sufficient. But they can also affect our markets and stuff.
Yeah.
So until while we reduce our use of it, we get our house in order.
Yeah.
So that's that policy. I think free secondary
but
education.
Undermining the oil from the East Coast also kind of influence or destroy their land or ecological environment, or it doesn't?
Well, I think Eastern Canada uses a lot of oil that is not coming. I don't know what's happening with.
A lot.
See, there were offshore oil off Newfoundland. I'm not up on what that is.
Yeah.
But I don't think that can supply Eastern Canada.
Yeah.
So I think it has to come from here.
Yeah.
So, okay. The Green Party is the only party that doesn't whip votes. That means they don't control how MPs would vote in there. Every other party on key votes, or most of them, they're not free. And if you go against it, you're a backbencher or you get kicked out, like Justin Trudeau did with Julie Raybould Wilson. So that parties are not mentioned in the Constitution.
Exactly.
So we've gotten used to accepting it. And when you control the votes of MPs, it's like that means they don't even read the legislation. Elizabeth May reads it, and she's been voted the most active MP, and she's promoted the most amendments. So she does the work. So they want free secondary education. In a previous one, it was guaranteed income. So that would eliminate a lot of civil service jobs. And I don't know if you followed where the experiments were guaranteed income. What happened is high school kids could pay attention to their schooling and not have to work. And young moms would go back to school to get more training. And so people weren't being lazy on it. They were using it to develop themselves in the community.
Great.
So let's see. Ask me another topic that she might have a policy on.
Maybe on recycle or reuse resources, these things. Because she is promoting on the environmental policies mostly.
Well,
or all
okay.
kinds of policies.
I don't know where she is on plastics. I think it's kind of too specific, but she's been saying for quite a few years, let's have job training for the people in Alberta who rely on the oil industry. Because you can scale that back. Especially no expansion.
Is she talking about renewable energy? And
Yeah.
And how is she going to implement those ideas? How is she going to motivate the companies to actually innovate their technology to make it more sustainable? Is she giving more taxation?
So if we have over $3 billion in subsidies to the fossil fuel industry, if you remove those subsidies, you've got taxpayer money and other sources of revenue.
Yeah.
And if you go after the people who have offshore accounts, how many millions is that? That's hundreds of millions of dollars of the rich people.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what else. I had a thought and I lost it. So
no worries.
So it's shrinking what we don't want. Getting more, making more sense here. Trying to not make people vulnerable during it. So I haven't done my homework, I have to tell you. I've just been relying on the past.
That's great. Yeah. And also, there's this new, like rather new party, the People's Party of Canada. Are they also non-partisan? Or it's similar to the Conservative, the Liberal, and the MPs being, if you don't agree with their policies, you can't be a member of the party, that sort of thing. You're not sure about that?
I don't know how that party works. I went to an all-candidates meeting and I heard the guy. He was honest, where he said 3 times that he hadn't thought through that issue, and I thought, well, that's good. The next all-candidates meeting, he'll have done more work, and that's okay.
How do you feel about Trudeau and his regime in the past 3-4 years?
I'm very disappointed. I didn't vote
in
for
what
him.
aspects are you disappointed?
Because he made promises. And I don't know if he intended to keep them, but when he didn't keep them, he didn't explain it. And I think people in office should be able to apologize and to say, I've changed my thinking, I've learned. I don't know if you've heard of Jesse Ventura in the United States. He was a wrestler. And he ran for office in Minnesota. And he said,
it's great.
I don't know, but I'm here to learn from you. What do you think about this? And I'll think about it. He's a bright man. He learns quickly. And he didn't pretend to know what he didn't know. So
but for Trudeau,
I think Trudeau.
Can you, what specific policies are more probably relevant to you?
The Trans Mountain Pipeline.
Oh,
I live in New Westminster. The route could be approved any day. The route goes within the riparian zone of the Brunette River. The Brunette River has a watershed that goes to Rupert and 29th. It goes up to near Capitol Hill. It goes to Coquitlam. And where it comes out in New Westminster, there was a village of 10,000 people, 10,000 indigenous people.
So those people are deprived of their...
Well, they got killed with the epidemics that killed them. So, but then the government policy, I'll get on to Trudeau with the policy for the indigenous people. But we have only 2 kinds of salmon that have returned to that river with a lot of citizen work over 30 years. One of them is coming back in thousands. The other is just beginning to come back.
Why do they work for so long? For over 30 hours?
Sapperton Fish and Game cleaned up the river over a 30-year period. All the experts said it couldn't be done. There were chemicals going into there that killed the fish.
So brilliant. They put in lots of work.
And finally, they got and they could identify the pipes where the poisons were coming out, and they got the federal government to say, yes, we're going to find these. And they gave them a time limit. You have to stop. And we'll give you 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And they did. Made a big difference. But there was a lot of garbage and stuff. So they would pull the stuff